as a rule, we'll normally just shake cocktails that contain fruit juices, creams, or heavy syrups, because we need to combine all the ingredients really well, and shaking is the best part of doing this. Also, we will also try and get a little bit of dilution in there as well, and the shaking will act as a good way of releasing a little bit of water from our ice. So we're going to use a drink called a Southern Smash to demonstrate the technique of shaking. For this, we're going to use Southern Comfort, some passion fruit syrup, some cranberry juice, and just a little bit of lime juice too. So it's a very straightforward process. Before we start, we need to prep our glass. So we're going to use, yet again, a straight up drink. So we're going to use the martini glass for this. So we need to get this glass cold, because we won't be serving any ice in it. So a little bit of crushed ice, you can sit in there to the side, and whilst we prepare the rest of the drink, it can sit there and get cold. Same thing again, we're going to use the Boston glass to prepare our drink in. As we explained before, the main reason we do this is because of theatre. It helps us as bar staff to see how much we're putting in, but more importantly, the customers around us can see what we're doing as well. And this helps, hopefully, them buy into the whole thing about buying a cocktail themselves. We were going to use the Boston shaker, so the glass half and the metal half. The actual technique here is fairly easy to learn, but does require a little bit of practice, because sometimes it can go a little bit wrong. So I'm going to make everything in the glass before I put the ice in, just so I can talk through the technique. So yeah, again, starting with what we consider the least expensive ingredients first. So I'll start with a 35 ml shot of cranberry juice. And then around about 15 ml, so just over half a measure of passion fruit syrup. And then 50 ml of Southern Comfort. And lastly, just going to put in a little squeeze of lime. When we shake this, the lime will get crushed and the juice and the oil will come out and add to the overall flavour of the drink. And we're nearly ready to go. So the next thing we'll need to do is obviously put our ice in. So we'll fill it right to the top with ice. As much ice as we really get in there, so we want to get this drink very cold. This is the bit where it could go wrong. So we need to put our cap, our Boston tin, onto the glass. The most important bit, take a good grip of the glass. I will always recommend that you hold it by the top, and it allows you to put the tin on fairly squarely. However, there are different ways of doing this, and some people will put it on at an angle, like so. However, I'll always put it on square, which means that you get an equal amount of grip from the tin onto the glass. When you think this is ready, just give it a knock on the top, and that will secure it. And hopefully, when you'll be able to get ready to lift, you can take this off the bar top and you will have a secure, airtight seal. So when we actually come to shake it, there's a couple of different things that we can do in terms of handling this. Most important thing to remember is to turn it over so the tin is facing the customer and the glass is facing you. If this does come apart whilst we're shaking, it's going to pour over us and not over our customers. The next thing to remember is how we hold this. Well, it's important that we have a grip of both parts. Some people will hold it like so and shake that way. Some people will hold it either end, shake that way. I, on the other hand, will shake with my fingers locked together like so, and I get a good grip of the glass and the tin. The important thing is to use two hands, and also to make sure that you have the glass and the tin well gripped. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to step to the side, for the simple reason that when I begin to shake this, I don't want it pointing at customers just in case I do let go. I'd rather it flew off down the bar than actually hit one of my customers. So I need to then start shaking. I want to advertise that I'm selling cocktails here, so I'm going to shake quite high up, backwards and forwards, so I get a lot of noise, and more importantly, I'm mixing the drink. So this will be allowed for a couple of seconds. And generally, as a rule, we'll always say, shake it until it's too cold to hold, and you'll notice it gets very cold very quickly. So make sure you get a good grip of it, the glass and the metal, and turn it away from our customers, over our shoulders, so people at the back of the room can see what we're doing. Backwards and forwards, until we get something that looks like that, foamy and attractive. What we want to do when we pour this drink out, we want it to look amazing. So we've given it a good shake, we've got a good noise going. Give another quick shake just to throw it up, and then we just need to take this apart. The technique for that is very straightforward. Make sure you get a good grip of the glass and the metal as well. Glass pointing up, metal pointing down. We'll pour from the metal, not from the glass. Take a good grip in your least dominant hand, left hand in my case, heel of your hand like so. And what you want to do is aim for around about the top 2 centimetres of the metal. This is where the glass and the metal will meet and therefore will hopefully come apart. So just a little bit of a knock, as you can see, loosens the tin. This may take a little bit of time and a bit of practice to get used to, but persevere and it will happen quite quickly. Need to strain this out. I need to do this quite quickly because obviously my cocktail is beginning to degrade. So throw my glass ice away. That's nice and chilled. I'm going to get my Boston, put my Boston down, take my Hawthorne strainer. This goes in the top with one hand so I can control it. This has got bits of ice which I don't want in the drink, so I'm going to take my fine strainer in my other hand and pour from one through the other, leaving around about a centimetre and a half off the top of the glass. I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to send that into the sink so I can clean it up, and then I just need to finish this off with a garnish. Southern Smash, we garnish with what we call a flamed orange zest. For this, we're going to need a lighter, a sharp knife, and a good piece, and a good orange with quite firm skin. And we will cut around about a 50 pence piece size piece of skin from the top. Really what we're looking for is something that's got a little bit of white pith behind it, but a great deal of the skin. And what we will do is we're going to heat up the orange. This will hopefully draw the oil to the front, to the surface of the skin, because the oil is the flammable bit, which is what we want. When it's warm, it takes a couple of seconds just to warm it up. We'll hold it just a little bit away from our glass and squeeze like so. You can, if you wish, put the orange piece in there. I will generally tend to throw it away because I don't think it looks really that attractive in our drink. However, what you will get is a beautiful smell of the orange that will make the drink really smell quite appealing. So there we have the shake and drink. We call that the Southern Smash, and there you are. That's shaking.